Thank you. Hey, what's up? I'm Allie and welcome back to my channel. You don't know, I own a lot of books. A lot. It's the whole wall. All of it. There's a lot. There's over 1,000 books. I'm trying to make it more of a priority to read some more of my own books, or at least get rid of ones that I'm either not really enjoying or not really interested in. So I've already done a big unhaul this year where I unhauled over, was it 150 books? I don't know, it was a lot of books. I tried this idea last year. It didn't work out well because I wasn't really in a reading mood, but I feel like it might work better this year. And that is self-destructing books. I'm actually taking inspiration from this video from Becca, who is one of my favorites, who also has done self-destructing books. And for those who don't know, this is a TBR that has to be read within a year's time. And you know, if these books haven't been read within the time, they have to go. Because I didn't pick these books out till February, I will have till the beginning of March next year in order to read these books. Hopefully I can read them all. I've picked 12. That seems doable, basically one for each month if really needed. And I've tried to pick books that I feel like have been on my shelves just like way too long of a time. Why am I like so blown out today? What's going on? Why am I so pale? This could be thumbnail material, right? These are my self-destructing books. I keep wanting to say self-sabotaging books, but like what are they doing? They're just sitting here. How could they sabotage themselves? They're literally just existing. So these are gonna be my what was the word again? Self-destructing books. One of the oldest books on the shelves that I have that I just haven't parted with because it was a gift and because it's an award-winning book is The Kingdom of Little Wounds. The thing is I've never really seen anyone talk about this. This is a YA fantasy and it's been on my shelves for years and I still couldn't tell you what it's about. It has something to do with like a plague that is overtaking this royal family and how the royal family is possibly on the verge of non-existence. So I don't really, I want to see how this goes. I will say this doesn't have the highest ratings on Goodreads. So we'll see. First books I ever had that had sprayed edges though. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to unhaul this book years ago. I've heard, for a while, I heard really good things, and then I heard really bad things, and then I've heard just really mixed things. That's The Captive Prince. I know that this has a possible romance. No, not even possible. This is a romance between, I believe, an owner and their slave. Which is the main issue with this. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, do I actually want to read this? My curiosity is just so piqued because of how many mixed reviews that this has gotten. And also because I've seen many different parts of the discussion happening. And I'm like, you know what? I'm curious. I want to know. I want to know the tea. I want to know what's going on. It's an older series, like dark romances, but not necessarily dark smut. So it's hard sometimes to find a good middle ground. And I do think that as long as you know the content is like dubious content and that the content is not necessarily, you can read things and not agree with them, right? So like, we'll see. The Scorpion Rules, I feel like this also had a lot of hype once upon a time. Why am I like wibbly wobbling everywhere? Stage comes there and ends up opening her eyes to kind of the wrongness that is existing within her own society. And I think that's quite fascinating. Giving me some hunger. I know this was like kind of big when the Hunger Games came out, so kind of giving me some of those feels of like time to point out what's wrong with this, what's wrong with our government kind of deal. So this was one that was given to me by a friend who loves reading, but we don't always have the same taste in reading. But she swore up and down that this was one of the best books she's ever read. Also had a lot of hype around it, and that is The Light Between Oceans. I put it off because, again, doesn't necessarily seem like something I'm super, like, thrilled to pick up, but because I've heard such high praise, I feel like it is something that I would enjoy reading to some degree, or at least enjoy the experience of reading, to know that at least that I have read this. And then I also won't feel so bad every time I see them and I'm like, no, I know it's been 5 years and I still haven't read that book. Couple, I believe, that like lives away from the mainland, and one day a boat washes ashore and there's a dead man and a baby in it, and they decide to claim the baby as their own, but of course, like, they need help. But something along, things are just not as they seem. apparently. Like, something more sinister, I believe, has occurred here or will occur here. Also heard fantastic things about the storied life of A.J. Vickery. The only thing is, this concept to me just seems boring. But I've heard such amazing things about it. And I love Gabriella Zevin so much. Love their writing. So I'm like, why haven't I read this? Something about a bookstore and like something arrives one day that like changes his life forever. Just one that I'm not too sure if I want to keep at this point, so I feel like I need to read it and then I'll be able to decide. And it's The Three Escapes of Hannah Arden. Hannah Arden is known for writing the the origins of total Taylorism. The origins of total Taylor. Anyway, for World War II, looking at that, it is a look at that. Man, this is an arc that I have of the Chestnut Man, which tells you how long, because I do believe that this book came out quite a few years ago now, and it was pretty praised when it came out, and I am much more interested in like mystery thrillers than I feel like I was when it originally came out, and I do feel like it might be something that I would enjoy, and I've seen a lot of praise for it, but it also hasn't been one that's really been like up front my mind that I need to get to this. You find one. He's already found you. The Chestnut Man. Come and play. Is he the bookie man? I don't know. These are some more gifts that I got from friends that I actually met through BookTube. And one is Angel Fall, and the other one is The Armored Saint. Oh, it was such a big series on BookTube, like in OG BookTube days. And I'm like, does this still hold up? It's been on my shelves for years. I should have read it years ago. But does it still hold up? This is about basically the apocalypse has come, and we follow a character who needs to make a deal with a fallen angel. The trilogy begins. Why did I think this was a standalone? In a world where any act of magic could open a portal to hell? The order ensures that no wizard will live to summon demons? I clearly thought this was a different book. And now I'm like extra excited to read it. I haven't gotten rid of this one. Been on my shelf too long. It's Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. It's a YA romance between a girl and the devil. Why have I not read this? I need to read it now. It's like so yellowed and old at this point on my shelves. Too long. Rebel of the Sands. I won't get rid of this one because it's pretty. It's just a pretty, pretty book. But this is about a gunslinger and mythical beasts and magic, rebellion and romantic passion and inferno. Ooh, I kind of forgot I threw a series, like a whole series in here basically. Good thing we're ending on this one, I guess. This is the last one, but however, there's books that follow after this, but that's An Ember in the Ashes. I was actually sent most of this series at one point a few years back to talk about, I think it was Reaper at the Gate was coming out, and so I'd gotten the series in order to talk about them, but I hadn't actually read the series. I feel like this is one that the hype kind of lives on. It was hyped up in its early days, but it keeps living on. Like, I keep seeing people talk about it, even, you know, however many years later. It's been at least 5 years, I feel like, since at least the first one came out. So I feel like this is one that at some point needs to be kind of like a YA fantasy staple that I've read. And I guess this needs to be the year. Hopefully it's so good that I'll be excited to continue. And if I'm not excited to continue, well, that just gives me my answer in and of its own. All right, these are my self-destructing books. Let me know which ones you think I will end up reading and which ones we're going to have to say goodbye to in a year. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!